I'm sorry. Okay. No, you're fine. Welcome to stay, but you don't have to. I appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to us.
I've got it wrong, probably. Like this right now, so
I understand. Thank you for coming. All right.
thank you all.
Okay, so a couple of points of business. Hot topics include Frankfurt and what's going on in Frankfurt right now. There is going to be a hold the line until the bitter end event next Friday and Saturday, which is the 13th and 14th. Several groups are involved. We are signed on as a co-sponsor. We will need people, volunteers that can go to Frankfurt and help man a table for us. So I want you to be thinking about that. Depending on everybody's situation, Friday may be more difficult for some because of it being a work day. There's all kinds of possibilities of what's in the works. Nothing is finalized yet. I just know that a majority of my week will be spent working on getting us down there and bringing as many people to the table and getting as many people on board as possible. When I was down there Monday, I did talk to a lot of teachers and public workers from all parts of our district. It was funny to be down in Frankfurt and not be able to find anybody that I was specifically sent to find. But by golly, I ran into all kinds of people that were like, oh, I'm from, Covington Independent Schools, or I'm from Erlanger-Ellesmere Schools, so I ran into all kinds of people from different parts of our district. I even saw Oldham County teachers were there, and I saw Greenup County teachers there, and spoke to a bunch of them, but dang if I could find anybody I was sent there to find. A crazy, crazy day. So this time, at least from my perspective, for what any of us would like to accomplish as far as making sure that people know that our group is supportive of unions. We are supportive of all public employees, whether they're, teachers, first responders. It's not, this is not just about the teachers. As a former teacher myself, as some of you know, I'm all about the teachers, but we can't make them the sole focus because they're not. And the things that are going on don't just affect them. And we need to be supportive of them all. So I'm going to need help with that. I can man a booth during the day on Friday myself if we don't end up with, a 20,000 march on Frankfurt or more. Again, I might need a little help if there's that many people supposed to be there on Friday. But in total, Friday and Saturday, whatever hours they want to set up.
Hours for that? Or
not yet.
Okay.
I have a phone call tomorrow and a couple things, like I said, this is all developing at this point, but we will be there, we will be involved. I know that a substantial number of people, myself included quite frankly, feel like when it comes to anything political in this state, people automatically assume Louisville, Lexington, right? Or now, well, if you got to go conglomerate somewhere, well, it's got to be Frankfurt because that's where everything happens. And we're kind of like up here going, hello, Northern Kentucky, we're District 4, we exist. So, by gosh, we're going to let them know that we exist and that we support all of these efforts. So that's why it's really important to me that we show up and be a part of that. This Friday, for anyone who's interested, is the kickoff for the Young Democrats Convention across the entire state. This year, the Northern Kentucky branch is responsible for the convention. So they're the ones who are sponsoring it up here in Covington. Friday is the kickoff event, and is that the Orange?
House of
Yeah,
Orange.
House of Orange. Yeah.
Your shirt,
In
God love you.
Covington.
I was like, yeah, I know it's orange something. I know it's orange something.
Is that tomorrow night?
Yes.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Oh God, that is tomorrow.
Yeah.
See, this tells you how busy I've been. It starts tomorrow, and then the convention itself runs on Saturday and Sunday. I think at this point, I believe they're not taking any new people for the convention because they had to notify the hotel ahead of time how many participants they were going to have. But the event tomorrow night is open to anyone who wants to come, and I'm sure it's going to be just a giant group of all different people from all across the state are planning on coming and attending. Saturday we are co-sponsors of a town hall in LaGrange. Don't know if you all have seen me post about that or not, seen it up anywhere. But as part of the March for Our Lives, one of the things that the Parkland kids did was call for town halls during this period of time with members of Congress because it's their spring break, basically. They're all home. They're all home. And, what do we hear? Crickets.
Nothing.
Right? We have been working on this for a year. And let's be very, very clear, and I'm going to do something that I never do. I'm going to look directly into the camera and make this point very, 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 very clear. Okay? Thomas Massey and his staff have promised us since last February that he would hold an open, public town hall for his constituents, and he's yet to do it. They have lied time and time again. I personally hand-delivered 800 signatures saying, hold a town hall, never received a response. I personally have emailed his schedulers and met with his state director, his communications director, and everybody in between. Nothing. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of not having any representative government. We deal with it on the state level. We deal with it on the federal level. Come to our town hall event in LaGrange on Saturday. The 3 primary candidates running to be able to take on Massey in the general will be there. In case he doesn't show up, because he has been invited.
No.
Yeah, I'll hold my breath.
Now, we know he's not going to show, but it will be an opportunity.
Who are the 3 candidates that are running?
We have Christina Lord, we have Patty Hyatt, and we have Seth Hall. Christina's from Trimble County, Seth is from Oldham County, and Patty is from Campbell County. Okay? This event came up by a brand spanking new group of young Democrats organized by Oldham County high school students.
Wow.
So, we really want to support them. We are not supporting them because they're Democrats. We are supporting them because they have the chutzpah to, God forbid, ask to speak to their congressperson. Right? What a progressive idea. So let's get on board. I personally will be there. And hopefully lots of people will show up to this event.
Wow.
Because even if Massey doesn't show, well, we know he's not going to show. When he doesn't show, we will have an opportunity for a close-up, in-person talk with the 3 candidates who are running. We will have multiple opportunities to speak with them at future events. We've got a couple things in the works, but this is going to be the first chance, I think, where we might get a good crowd to interact with them one-on-one, just like we did here tonight with the local candidates. So I want to put that out there. The other thing, Thursday, April 19th in Ashland, they are sponsoring what's called a political mall, which I really like the idea of.
Political
Mall.
M-A-L?
M-A-L-L.
M-A-U-L?
That's if I'm involved. Then it's on, like Donkey Kong. But anyway,
Yes.
no, it's a political mall, MALL, where they're having, again, the 3 congressional candidates from our district, as well as their local candidates, all at the Steelworkers Hall down in Ashland, set up with their own tables and that, where people can, go around and talk with the candidates at their leisure and stuff like that. Am I correct in that that's the basic setup? So that's from 4:30 to 7:30 in Ashland on April 19th. And I will be there for that as well.
They're asking online, is this information on the Facebook page?
Not yet, I just found out today. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. There is a post on our public page about it. It's just a picture though. Just a picture though. And I will put something inside the secret group as well as a reminder. I'll make an event page for that so that it'll show up for people. Information, the final draft of the document that I've been working on since November finally went up inside the secret group. The title of it is District 4 Kentucky State House Representatives and Senators by County. That's the full title of the document. If you go in there, chuckle at your leisure, because there's about 10 different versions. Make sure you get the most recent one. You download it to your computer. It is completely updated to make sure that it shows who every current sitting legislator is, who all of their challengers are, whether they're primary or not in a primary. The highlighted in blue races that you see on here are races that the brand new grassroots PAC, the Kentucky Initiative, is working on. These are key races to them that they really want to see flip these seats. There's that. Anybody can download it. There's another page that I didn't bring with me that goes into every single one of the 20 counties and the number of Democrats, Republicans, and everything that they have running for all the different races, so that you know. Be very clear. Certain races are overcome May 22nd. There are quite a few races, especially in Boone County, where all they have running are Republicans, which means they're in a primary.
Just me.
And then after May 22nd, it's done. They don't have to run it in a general. So compare that.
Yes.
What can you do? If you're a registered Democrat, if you're a registered independent, if you're a registered other, you cannot vote in the primary. That doesn't mean you can't put a sign in your yard. That doesn't mean you can't knock on doors and talk to your neighbors, especially in Boone County, right? For example, let's look at, well, I know the Kenton County one better than the Boone County one. Let's look at the sheriff's race, right? How long, I mean, Chuck Korsenborn has held the sheriff's seat for so freaking long.
He's stuck to the seat.
I was going to say there's a permanent tattoo of his ass on the chair. It's time for him to go. And this is a man who openly, against the vast majority of his constituents, openly advocates for adding more guns to schools by arming teachers and staff. Now, I'm sorry. I love the, 75-year-old bus driver that my son has. But do I think he should be packing? No. When I have to go pick up my child off the school bus because it's been sitting on the road for an hour and a half in an ice storm, and the bus driver's temperature, I mean, I don't even have to get more than, 15 feet to the bus, and I can hear what's going on in there. That's not somebody that needs a gun. That's just not, right? So let's look at his opponents. He has 2 primary opponents. Let's get somebody else in there. Like I said, put a sign in your yard. Go knock on doors. Let's talk to people about how ridiculous Chuck Korsenborn is and how it's time for him to freaking go. Right? He runs that county like he owns it. He does not. He works for the people. He doesn't work for his friends. And we need to make that very, very clear.
Thank you for doing this, that was really helpful. I'm happy to stay up that.
Oh, you're welcome, you're welcome. So anyway, let's look at other races and make sure that, again, there's a couple other ones that only have, you know, 2 people running and they're from the same party, which means the race is over come May 22nd. Let your voice be heard. You might not be able to vote, but there are plenty other things that you can do to affect it. Yes, sir?
Are there open seats in Boone County that Democrats are not?
All of them except for what I'm doing.
Huh?
All of them except for clerk, me.
All of them, there's no Democrats running against any of these Republicans?
No.
Just me.
In Boone County, no.
And is this published somewhere? I mean, does anybody know that
It's
these
the
seats
third
are
page of
open?
my list.
Is it too late to run for those offices?
Here's what I can tell you, and I have not had the time to dig deeper on this, right? There has been there has been a big push online for write-in candidates. As you all know, we worked just ungodly amount of time to make sure that for the first time in 24 years, there are no unopposed seats for state legislature races in all of District 4. I worked my butt off to help make that happen. I'm not standing for that. I just didn't have the bandwidth to go then down to the county levels and the city levels, you know? I was too busy at the state
You
level.
are one person.
Right?
Slacker.
So,
You only get off the hook because you're running.
anyway, so now what we can look at is write-in campaigns. Now, I've gotten some mixed information, so I'm not 100% sure.
Just from reading it off the SOS website, you have to have X amount of signatures. I don't know off the top of my head what it is.
But it goes all the way down to the county level, like judge
I think so.
executive or
I think so.
county commissioner?
I think so.
Okay, so,
What's the
But you're
deadline?
unaffiliated.
What's the
You don't- you're
deadline?
not- You're not in the party. You know what I mean? You can't be listed as a party.
okay. Even if you're a registered Democrat, you just don't run as a Democrat? Or if you're a
Right,
registered
right.
independent, you run as an
because it's a
independent?
write-in. Yeah, because the ballot's already made. It's done.
Okay, and one thing that I also know is that here's one of the crux ways that write-in campaigns fail is people misspelling a name.
Yes.
You have, to run a successful write-in campaign, you absolutely have to make sure that you have the spelling exactly correct. And that includes, like, if somebody uses a middle initial versus a middle name or not at all. You know, if somebody has a junior, a senior, or a 2 or a 3 after their name. You have to have it exactly correct or your vote's eliminated.
Wow.
So, you know, if, and you know, again, I've said it 1,000 times, we are nonpartisan. Yes, it would be very easy for somebody to say, well, gosh, all I see you guys doing is talking to and supporting Democrats. We're progressive. We're not going to support or talk to any regressive candidates. You know, in Kentucky, the nature of the beast is that your progressive candidates are likely to be Democrats. Show me a progressive independent, bring them to me. I want to talk to them all day long. Show me the unicorn. Show me a progressive Republican who's progressive on social issues and just fiscally conservative.
In Kentucky.
In Kentucky. As long as fiscally conservative doesn't mean that they believe in austerity, and I'll talk to them all day long. But that, you know, that's just the nature of the beast in politics, especially in Kentucky, pretty much nationwide, but most especially in Kentucky, you know. But if anybody's interested, you know, there are, how many commissioner seats in Boone? 3? What? 3 or 5? 3?
Just 3,
I think it's just 30.
I think it is 2. So 3 commission seats,
Unopposed?
unopposed.
Yes.
Judge executive, unopposed.
Circuit court, Commonwealth attorney,
Yeah.
Jailer.
jailer, sheriff.
So Boone County Democrats obviously have not been doing their job.
I can tell you that I was not recruited by Boone County Democrats. I did this all on
Yeah,
my
so
own.
Boone Counties don't know, I mean, Boone County is basically a orphan child of the state that has no representation by Democrats at all because of the leadership that they currently have in the Boone County Democrats. That's the problem. Because it should be published somewhere that these are all the seats that are unopposed right now. Here are the qualifications. Do you want to run?
We'll talk about that on Monday. Somebody should do that, you're right.
Yeah. Well, on Monday, I'm going to ask for all of them to resign. Because I think that they have not done their job for Boone County Democrats. And they're lying if they think they have. I've been to their meetings ever since for the last 8 months. And there is nothing that happens at those meetings except for eating.
Yep.
And you can't hear people talking. It was embarrassing to have Seth Hall and all the rest of them there. Cal got hit in the back with the door as the waitress was bringing food in. You got people ordering food and everything else. So it's just a big mishmash of crazy. You were there.
I was there.
So
I was crazy.
And there is no leadership there except for what they want to keep in control. And maybe they did a good job one time, but every Republican in Boone County used to be a Democrat.
Right.
You're exactly right.
That's in office.
You're exactly right. A lot of them are still registered as Democrats.
There has to be
Look at
an
the numbers.
accountability brought up
Look at the
that
numbers.
if they're going to say that they're Boone County Democrats and they're the leadership, then why aren't you doing anything in order to make sure that those positions are filled with somebody qualified in order to run?
I lived in Boone County for 2 years, and during the 2 years, I attended some of those meetings as the Northern Kentucky Democratic League representative for Boone County, okay? And you are absolutely right. And I actually ended up stopped going because they did not do anything. However, I will say this. They were very hard workers as far as making phone calls and hitting the streets and getting, doing the groundwork. But they did.
But if they don't have anybody running, then what's the point?
Right, exactly. So yeah, it was more of a social group than it was really.
That's what they call themselves.
So let's help them out. I mean,
Okay.
we've reached out. We've reached out before. We've worked with them before on various things, and we're willing to do that with any group. Any group that shares our core beliefs, that believes in our mission statement and the things that we support. Hit us up. We'll work with anybody within reason. I'm not ready to put on a mask and go, do crazy things yet, but you never know down
Sing and
there.
dance on stage.
Yeah. But
I'll win, I'll do
we'll work on it. We'll work on it.
Okay.
All right. I'm sorry. That's your job. Yeah, my hitman's been itching for over a year over here for me to send him out on a job, so okay, a couple more things before we finish up. What else is in the imminent future? This Sunday we're back to our coffee clutch conversations with candidates. We have up this Sunday Matt Kaufman and Ryan Neves, both young guys, both teachers. One from Oldham County, one from Boone County. So those happen at 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. Live streamed on both Facebook and our YouTube channel. If you are not a Facebook person, and I totally understand, and more people are flocking away, I'm going to have to find a different method of communication.
Yes, please.
Make your own Roberto.
Come on, invent it right now.
Yeah, IT guy. I know you're running for office and everything, but can you solve this crisis for us? Anyway, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel because anybody can get online and go to YouTube and watch videos. You don't have to have a Facebook account or anything. So you can look for Indivisible Northern Kentucky District 4 on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. And you can watch any of the videos we've already done, and you can watch the live streamed ones as they happen. What else? We were planning on doing a debate with the 3 congressional candidates. We have now changed that because there just wasn't a lot of interest. The more I talk to people are like, yeah, I know. People are like, well, in the general, yeah, but for the primary, nah. And I'm like, okay, what do we do? So, what we decided to do is this. We have reserved the last 3 Sundays, the 3 Sundays in May leading up to the primary. So that's going to be May 20th, May 13th, I gotta work backwards, and the 6th, all right. All right, thanks. Yeah. May 6th, May 13th, May 20th, at 7 p.m. on each one of those nights, we have reserved for our 3 congressional candidates. So we will have an hour-long talk with each one of them. Coming up here within the next week or so, we're going to do a special announcement video where we draw for the order. So that it's fair to everybody, because everybody's going to be like, I want that May 20th slot 2 days before the primary. You know? And short of sponsoring some kind of WWE SmackDown, we're gonna draw names, names in one pot, dates in the other, to see who goes on what day.
So it was the candidates that were not interested in doing
No.
that? Okay, it was people that
It was
didn't go.
people that were like, because me, I'm all about debates, but I'm a fact-oriented,
Yeah.
answer the tough question type of person, right?
Yes.
But that's me. When you're talking to millennials and they're like,
Well, some people just aren't good on the spot.
well, that's true. That's true. This,
Well, in
You
debates,
know, the
nice-
debates in primary usually wind up giving fuel to the Republicans for their
well, that's
general
true.
election.
That's true too.
So,
This way, each candidate gets fronted by themselves, free publicity for an hour. So,
Are these live or?
Yes.
streamed?
yes,
Where are they?
either on YouTube or our public Facebook page.
Is it something you
Oh.
can attend or is it just?
No.
Don't do that to me, no.
I'm not ready for that level of stress. Okay, what else? Help me out. We need volunteers. We need help. I'm not gonna lie, for anything and everything. We've maxed out on our leadership bandwidth, especially when it comes to, and I know I said something about this online, we need help social media wise. We need writers. We need anybody. If you have an opinion and you want to write a blog, I don't care. If you want to bash Thomas Massey from now until the cows come home, write me an essay that I can put on our website. I'm all about it. I'll send it to the Empire for you.
I did anonymously.
I'm Nicia Thornton. I know some of you and some of you I don't know yet. I had responded to
Right.
her for social media and helping out where Leslie needs to step back. And I'm very interested and willing and able with communication, whether it's being comfortable with social media, writing, public speaking, you name it. That's part of my background. I have I can't wrap my arms around everything in terms of the social media, because at this time and until the end of June, I am working full-time at UC Medical Center and I'm finishing my master's. And the master's work kind of comes in bunches, so there'll be a period of time, like tonight, for instance, where it's like there's several days where I'm kind of free, but then there'll be a bunch of days in a row where I'm doing another revision of my proposal paper or something like that.
Right.
So I feel like I really want to help with all of that, and I'm a good writer, and I like to encourage other people to write. So I don't know that I'm really saying anything in particular, but I'm up for it, and I'll just do the best I can. I'm gonna see if maybe I don't know if I can talk to Leslie, or maybe I can talk to you and kind of see where things are. I had one meeting with some people at the Kent County Library, I know Andrea was there, who were interested in being part of media, whether it was writing articles or doing stuff online, whatever.
Well, I think we'll put out the call for that again. We gotta kind of wrap it up because the
Right.
library's getting ready to close.
So anyway.
But,
that's-
and thank you
Yeah.
for that.
Well, yeah.
But any way you can help, if you can help man a table, if you want to help us creatively, for example, we've got Pride coming up and we need to decide what we're going to do in the Pride Parade. Crazier the better. Pride Parade. The Pride Parade is June. Is it the 10th or the 12th?
12th, I think.
and the March for Science is April 14th.
But I'll be in Frankfurt
Oh.
because all that stuff that came up. Because originally I was going to the March for Science.
Where is the March for Science?
There's one in
It's started
Cincinnati and there's one in Lexington.
April what?
14th,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
June 10th?
June 10th, I believe.
10th.
Thank you, everybody.